And today we're going to talk about the 3 keys to a super sleek physique, which really comes down to my favorite topic, snacks. Now, if you recall our eating philosophy, whatever dietary aspect, that's the beauty of the BiOptimizer program. It works no matter what dietary program that you're choosing, high fat, low fat, high carb, low carb, 40 40, 40 40 20, 80 10 10, whatever it is, you optimize whatever that diet is. So we have our standards, which is our 3 meals through the day, right? Meal one, we got the shake, we got the salad, and then we got the meal that's best for you. Okay, that's the standards. Maybe you're doing a different version of that, but you got your 3 mains, and in between, that's where the snacks come in. And so the snacks, this is a, this is an important component. Some people don't need it that many, but ideally we have found when you're talking about blood sugar, this is a big factor for maintaining body fat, is if you're on eating irregularly, you go like this. If you're following our program, your body starts going like this, especially if you're doing all the optimizers, the BiOptimizers. So this is the sweet spot. This is the optimized zone. This is painful, right? Mood swings, weight gain, tiredness, fatigue. This is just smooth energy all day long. And this is what gives you that sleek physique. This is what, virtually all of the top bodybuilders in the world, and I'm going to use this for a reason. People go, Wade, is that too much food? No. You need to eat to keep your metabolism up. You cannot starve your way to health. And most everyone that I know that keeps not just a lean physique, but one that is full of energy and vitality, they're using something like this. They're eating 4 to sometimes as much as 7 times a day. The sweet spot for most people is around 5. That's the typical person. But again, go with your own world and what you require. Of course, if you're maybe a younger athlete, these snacks are going to be pretty big. You might be doing shakes in between. For younger athletes, they need a lot more food and calories. So the keys are, what are the best snacks? What are the things that is going to allow us to keep in this, nice blood sugar zone and, to not blow us out on our program? Okay, and some of the easier ones, first and foremost, top of the list, in my opinion, berries. Berries are like, blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, goji berries. Berries in their regular hydrated form are phenomenal. Number one, they've got structured water inside them. Number two, they're full of phytonutrients. Number three, they're low calories, right? You cannot get fat on eating berries. I don't care how many you eat, you are not going to get fat ever eating berries. And they're so packed with nutrients, they really curb appetite. So, why we're doing snacks is we want to curb appetite. We want to keep our blood sugar stable. And that means 2.5 to 3 hours. That should be the limit. Now, I know there's some people out there that want to do longer periods of time, and there are places for fasting and things like that. But when you start going beyond the zone, most often people will use chemical stimulants, the fat burners and caffeine and stuff, and that tends to burn out people's adrenals, right? You do not want to be relying on adrenals. The reason being, it works great for a while, but eventually you crash. I did that years and years ago. I used caffeine and stimulants in order to keep my appetite down and to reduce the amount of calories I was doing. And guess what? You end up with adrenal problems. You also end up with a lot of fatigue. Don't want to do that. So berries, in my opinion, are number one on the list. Number two, I would go to vegetables. Right? Vegetables that you like. Some people like carrots, celery, whatever. Something that's crispy, crunchy, that makes you feel good. What I like is I like crunch. And so vegetables provide that. Again, low calories. You cannot get fat on carrots. I know people talk about the glycemic index and stuff. Carrots are supposedly high in that. You can't get fat on that. Apples, celery, beans. Some people like to eat raw beans or peas or whatever it happens to be. You're not going to go wrong with these guys. You can eat these all day long, and if you have them ready, available, cut up, and utilizable, then they're great. It's easy and simple. And again, anytime you go outside this range, what's going to happen? That's when you crash. That's when you fall prey to the chemical companies that kind of hook your brain on all these sugars and chemicals and all those things that you don't want. So just remember that. What's next on that list? Let's go to the next one. I would say you can get into, like, some people like this and some people don't. Seaweeds, things like kale. Usually these are dried, right? You see a lot of kale chips and dried seaweed. These are really great as a chips. Like, they're kind of like the alternative to chips, right? Oftentimes they're kind of expensive. You can make your own. But these things are really great. There's a couple brands out there like Sea Snacks and Solar Ray and all this sort of stuff. You can go to the health food store. Go to a health food store or go to a health food show, and you'll get to try some of these snacks. If you get this, ideally, if you want to go to sun-dried is best, right? Or dehydrated, not super dried or baked right out. So then we kind of move on to things like, superfoods, okay? So superfoods are very popular. Things like, I don't know, we've got goji berries. This is one that was made super popular by a guy by the name of David Wolf. He's a raw food guy. He's been around for years, and he taught the world all about raw food. Fantastic stuff. Goji berries. You can get things like mulberries. A lot of these are coming dried. You can get, apricots. The list goes on and on. For people with the sweet tooth, you can use dates, grapes, okay, and figs. Try not to do too many, but if you have that sugar craving, these are great. Or you like to have snacks with your friends, maybe have tea. My mom likes to have tea with her friends and stuff. These things are great alternatives to sugar. These are people with the sweet tooth, and they have a lot of nutrients in them. They're great. Those are those ones there. And then onto that, you move into things like nuts and trail mixes. Now, these snacks, I'm going to put these into a special category. Believe me, I love nuts and trail mixes. And a trail mix is just basically nuts and fruits and banana chips or coconut chips put in there. Sometimes they'll put raw cacao inside that, raisins, all kinds of things like that. But raisins, by the way, is another one of these on the sweet tooth thing. The thing is, with these as snacks, you really, really got to be careful that you don't overeat, because nuts and trail mixes have a lot of calories. So if you're trying to maintain a certain body weight, these things can be trouble if you do too much. Okay. On the other hand, if you happen to be, a hard training athlete and you need a lot of energy and vitality, trail mixes are great, especially if you're going on long hikes. So if I'm going on a long hike and I know that I'm going to be hiking for 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, trail mixes are great because I've got a nice source of energy. That they're kind of nice to snack. They're easy to carry. You get a lot of food. You could stay alive on a bag of trail mix probably for a week if you had to. So these can be really good for that. Ideally, I would say this is the ideal zone, right? These are the excellent, nice for variety. That nice, it's for taste. A lot of people are really sensitive to taste. You can get a lot of really good, dried kale and seaweeds and things like that with all kind of like cheesy flavors on it that are actually really healthy for you. They're not bad at all. And superfoods, all those stuff. I mean, check out some of David Wolf's stuff. It's great to learn about superfoods. And then finally, you go down here to the bottom, which is what I call the okay zone, depending on where you're at. What I will say this, when you're dealing with snacks, avoid preservatives. Again, you want to watch that. You want organic if you can get them, okay? Generally, avoid purchase at convenience stores. Oftentimes, convenience stores will put these things together, but they're full of chemicals and additives and preservatives and things that you don't want, or too much salt, or they sometimes spray them with sugar. Oftentimes, a lot of convenience stores are really trouble. So you want to go with organic. Okay, those are the best ones. You know, usually your local health food store will have some really good ones, or you can go out and make some your own trail mixes. Those are really lovely, and try out some of the superfoods. But where you can never go wrong, berries and vegetables. So that's just an overview of using your snacks. Be sure to pack up snacks every day. If you go and purchase it each week, a bunch of them, every time you go out the door, take some snacks with you. Put them in your car, these type of things. The reason being is because you know life throws things at you. You want to stay in this 3-hour window to keep your blood sugar optimized. That keeps you healthy, keeps you at the highest levels of performance, and that's what we want for you. So just to conclude, you know, we're at day 42 now. You're halfway through the program, lesson number 42. I mean, you're doing so well, and I'm so charged up. You know, I'm feeling so great that you've stuck with us this long, and that means that you're the type of person that is really committed to your program, and I really want to honor and congratulate you on this. And also, I would encourage you to talk to some of the other people around you. You're probably start making the changes, especially if you're going on the BiOptimizer program. You're going to be feeling different, really feeling that supercharge and that next level of health and well-being. Be sure to share with other people what's going on for you. Share some of these videos, show people, show your friends, that sort of thing. Get people involved and start creating a community around it, and start sharing recipes around snacks and healthy snacks. Go to our website, check out at BiOptimizers.com, ask any questions, share any tips that you might have, because you're halfway through the program. You're halfway to that ultimate level of really anchoring this for your entire life. And for that, I'm super excited for you. Stay with the program, and we'll see you on the next lesson.